the International World Wisdom Well.com brings you this carefully curated rare audiobook, Nisargadatta Maharaj, the Sage of Mumbai. Chapter 1. The Early Years. Nisargadatta Maharaj was born as Maruti Shivrampant Kambli on April 17, 1897, in the small village of Kandalgaon in Maharashtra, India. His family was humble, living a modest life through farming and small trade. Despite the limited resources, young Maruti's curiosity and intelligence shone brightly, though formal education remained out of reach. The environment of rural Maharashtra, with its rich traditions and deep spiritual roots, profoundly influenced his early years. From a young age, Maruti exhibited a strong sense of independence and a questioning mind. He often sought solace in the company of wandering ascetics and sages who passed through his village, soaking in their wisdom. These early interactions planted the seeds of a lifelong quest for spiritual understanding. His father, Shivrampant, was a devout Hindu who performed regular religious rituals, instilling a sense of devotion in young Maruti. Chapter 2. Journey to Mumbai. In his early 20s, after the death of his father, Maruti moved to Mumbai, then Bombay, to seek better opportunities. The bustling metropolis was a stark contrast to his serene village life. He took up a small business, selling household goods, and soon established a shop in the heart of Mumbai. Maruti's entrepreneurial spirit led him to moderate success, allowing him to support his family comfortably. Despite the material success, a sense of existential unease lingered. Mumbai, with its melting pot of cultures and spiritual seekers, provided Maruti with exposure to various philosophies and practices. It was here that he encountered Siddharameshwar Maharaj, a teacher of the Navnath Sampradaya, a lineage of Hindu spiritual tradition. This meeting marked a turning point in Maruti's life, setting him on a transformative spiritual path. Chapter 3. Meeting the Guru. Siddharameshwar Maharaj accepted Maruti as his disciple and gave him the name Nisargadatta, meaning naturally given or natural state. Under Siddharameshwar's guidance, Nisargadatta immersed himself in intense spiritual practice. His guru's teachings emphasized self-inquiry and the realization of one's true nature beyond the physical body and mind. Nisargadatta's dedication was unwavering. He spent hours meditating and contemplating his guru's teachings, often late into the night. Siddharameshwar. Maharaj's simple yet profound instructions resonated deeply with him, particularly the assertion that the self is beyond all transient experiences and identities. This period of rigorous practice laid the foundation for Nisargadatta's eventual enlightenment. Chapter 4. Awakening. After Siddharameshwar Maharaj's passing in 1936, Nisargadatta continued his spiritual practices with renewed vigor. His deep introspection and meditation led him to a profound realization, the understanding that his true nature was pure, unchanging awareness. This realization shattered his identification with the body and mind, revealing a state of boundless freedom and peace. Nisargadatta described this awakening as a shift from seeing himself as a limited individual to recognizing his true essence as the universal self. This profound transformation marked the beginning of his life as a jnani, or one who has realized the self. His teachings, which would later draw seekers from around the world, were rooted in this direct experience of non-dual awareness. Chapter 5. Teaching in Mumbai. Following his awakening, Nisargadatta resumed his daily life, continuing to run his shop and care for his family. However, his inner state of realization began to attract seekers. Gradually, his home in Mumbai became a sanctuary for those seeking spiritual guidance. Nisargadatta's presence and teachings offered a beacon of light for those yearning for truth. He spoke from direct experience, with an authenticity that resonated deeply with his listeners. Nisargadatta's teachings were simple yet profound, focusing on the core tenets of Advaita Vedanta, the non-dual nature of reality. His approach was direct and uncompromising, urging seekers to look within and realize their true nature. Chapter 6. The Essence of His Teachings. Nisargadatta's teachings can be distilled into a few core principles. Central to his philosophy was the assertion that one's true nature is pure awareness, beyond the transient phenomena of the body and mind. He emphasized that the sense of individuality is an illusion created by identification with the body and mind. Liberation, according to Nisargadatta, lies in the realization that one's true self is the unchanging witness of all experiences. He often used the metaphor of a movie screen to illustrate this point. Just as the screen remains unaffected by the images projected onto it, pure awareness remains untouched by the changing experiences of life. Nisargadatta encouraged his students to engage in self-inquiry, questioning the nature of their identity and the reality of their experiences. Chapter 7. The Role of the Guru. For Nisargadatta, the Guru played a crucial role in guiding seekers toward self-realization. He regarded the Guru as a mirror reflecting the disciples' true nature, helping them see beyond their delusions. Nisargadatta himself embodied this role, offering his teachings with a blend of compassion and directness that left a lasting impact on his students. He often said that the Guru's grace is essential for awakening, but it is the disciples' earnestness and dedication that pave the way for realization. Nisargadatta's relationship with his own Guru, Siddharameshwar Maharaj, was a testament to this principle. His unwavering faith in his Guru's teachings and his relentless pursuit of truth exemplified the ideal disciple. Chapter 8. Conversations with Seekers. Nisargadatta's teachings reached a wider audience through his dialogues with seekers, many of which were recorded and later published. These conversations, captured in books like I Am That, offer a glimpse into his method of instruction. He engaged with seekers from all walks of life, addressing their doubts and guiding them toward self-realization. In these dialogues, Nisargadatta's style was often challenging yet compassionate. He encouraged seekers to discard their preconceived notions and delve deeply into the nature of their existence. His words were a catalyst for many, triggering profound insights and shifts in perception. Chapter 9. The Power of Self-Inquiry. Self-inquiry, or the practice of questioning the nature of the self, was a cornerstone of Nisargadatta's teachings. He urged his students to ask themselves, "Who am I?" and to investigate the source of their thoughts and experiences. This process, he believed, would lead to the realization that the self is not the body, mind, or any particular identity, but pure awareness. Nisargadatta emphasized that this inquiry should be relentless and sincere. It was not merely an intellectual exercise, but a direct experiential exploration. Through persistent self-inquiry, seekers could transcend their limited identities and awaken to their true nature. Chapter 10. The Illusion of Individuality. A recurring theme in Nisargadatta's teachings was the illusion of individuality. He pointed out that the sense of being a separate individual is a construct of the mind, sustained by identification with the body and personal history. This false identification is the root of all suffering, as it creates a sense of limitation and separation from the whole. Nisargadatta taught that true liberation comes from seeing through this illusion and recognizing one's unity with all of existence. He encouraged seekers to disidentify from their personal narratives and realize their oneness with the universal self. This shift in perception, he asserted, leads to profound peace and freedom. Chapter 11. The Impact of I Am That. One of the most significant contributions to modern spirituality is the book I Am That, a collection of Nisargadatta's dialogues with seekers. Published in 1973, it brought his teachings to a global audience. The book's clarity and depth have made it a classic in spiritual literature, offering timeless wisdom for those on the path of self-discovery. I Am That presents Nisargadatta's teachings in a conversational format, making them accessible and relatable. Readers from diverse backgrounds have found inspiration and guidance in its pages, and it continues to be a source of insight for spiritual seekers worldwide. Chapter 12: The Simplicity of His Lifestyle. Despite his profound realization and growing fame, Nisargadatta maintained a simple and unassuming lifestyle. He continued to live in his modest apartment in Mumbai, running his shop and engaging in daily routines. His simplicity was a testament to his teachings, emphasizing that enlightenment does not require renunciation of the world, but a shift in perception. Nisargadatta's life was a living example of his philosophy. He demonstrated that self-realization is not about escaping from life's responsibilities, but about seeing through the illusion of separateness while engaging fully in the present moment. His humility and authenticity inspired many who came to him for guidance. Chapter 13: The Legacy of a Jnani. Nisargadatta Maharaj passed away on September 8, 1981, leaving behind a rich legacy of spiritual teachings. His impact continues to be felt through the countless individuals who have been transformed by his wisdom. Nisargadatta's teachings have influenced a wide range of spiritual traditions and have been integrated into contemporary practices of self-inquiry and non-dual awareness. His legacy is carried forward by his disciples and the numerous books, recordings, and translations of his teachings. Nisargadatta's message of self-realization and the simplicity of his approach continue to resonate with seekers around the world, ensuring that his influence endures. Chapter 14: Influence on Modern Spirituality. Nisargadatta's teachings have had a profound impact on modern spirituality, particularly within the framework of Advaita Vedanta and non-dualism. His emphasis on direct experience and self-inquiry has influenced countless spiritual teachers and practitioners. Many contemporary spiritual leaders cite Nisargadatta as a source of inspiration and reference his teachings in their own work. His emphasis on the immediacy of awakening and the accessibility of enlightenment to all beings regardless of background or spiritual attainment has challenged traditional notions of spiritual hierarchy. Nisargadatta's teachings suggest that enlightenment is not reserved for a select few, but is the birthright of every human being. Chapter 15: The Universality of His Message. One of the remarkable aspects of Nisargadatta's teachings is their universality. While rooted in the Advaita Vedanta tradition, his message transcends cultural and religious boundaries. Seekers from diverse backgrounds have found resonance in his words, recognizing the universal truth underlying all spiritual traditions. Nisargadatta's teachings emphasize the essence of spirituality, the direct realization of one's true nature, as opposed to dogma or ritual. This universal approach has made his teachings accessible to people from all walks of life, regardless of their religious or cultural affiliations. Chapter 16: The Practice of Presence. Central to Nisargadatta's teachings is the practice of presence, being fully present in the moment without identification with the past or future. He encouraged his students to abide in the state of pure awareness, free from the fluctuations of the mind. This practice of presence allows one to experience life directly, without the filter of conceptual thinking. Nisargadatta often compared the mind to a turbulent river, constantly flowing with thoughts and emotions. By resting in the stillness of awareness, one can observe the mind's activity without being caught up in it. This practice cultivates inner peace and clarity, paving the way for self-realization. Chapter 17. Surrendering to what is. A recurring theme in Nisargadatta's teachings is the importance of surrender, letting go of the ego's resistance to the present moment. He taught that true surrender is not a passive resignation, but an active acceptance of what is. By surrendering to the present moment, one aligns with the flow of life and opens oneself to the deeper currents of existence. Nisargadatta often spoke of the paradoxical nature of surrender, how letting go of the ego's control leads to a deeper sense of freedom and empowerment. Through surrender, one transcends the limited perspective of the ego and recognizes the underlying unity of all things. Chapter 18. Beyond Words and Concepts. Nisargadatta's teachings often point to the limitations of language and concepts in expressing the ultimate truth. He emphasized the inadequacy of words to capture the ineffable nature of reality. While he used language to convey his teachings, he also encouraged his students to go beyond words and concepts, to directly experience the truth for themselves. Nisargadatta's approach was experiential rather than intellectual. He urged his students to look within and discover the truth for themselves, rather than relying on external authorities or beliefs. In this way, he empowered seekers to trust their own direct experience as the ultimate arbiter of truth. Chapter 19. Embracing Impermanence. A fundamental aspect of Nisargadatta's teachings is the recognition of the impermanent nature of all phenomena. He taught that everything in the phenomenal world is subject to change and dissolution, including the body and mind. By embracing impermanence, one transcends the fear of death and finds liberation in the timeless presence of awareness. Nisargadatta often spoke of the impermanence of the ego, the false sense of identity constructed by the mind. He encouraged his students to investigate the nature of this egoic self and discover its transient and illusory nature. Through this inquiry, one comes to rest in the unchanging awareness that lies beyond the fluctuations of the ego. Chapter 20. The Eternal Now. At the heart of Nisargadatta's teachings is the invitation to awaken to the eternal now, the timeless dimension of awareness that underlies all of existence. He taught that the present moment is the gateway to liberation, as it is the only point of access to the reality of one's true nature. Nisargadatta's emphasis on the eternal now challenges the conventional notion of time as a linear progression from past to future. He invited his students to recognize that the past and future are mere mental constructs, while the present moment is the only reality. In this timeless dimension, one discovers the eternal presence of awareness beyond the limitations of time and space. Conclusion. Nisargadatta Maharaj's life and teachings continue to inspire and guide spiritual seekers around the world. His message of self-realization, rooted in the direct experience of awareness, transcends cultural and religious boundaries. In an age of increasing complexity and distraction, his teachings offer a timeless invitation to awaken to the truth of one's own existence. Through self-inquiry, surrender, and presence, seekers can discover the boundless freedom and peace that lie at the heart of their being. Nisargadatta's legacy endures as a beacon of light in the journey of self-discovery. Thank you for spending time here at the World Wisdom Well and learning from Nisargadatta Maharaj, the Sage of Mumbai. We hope you find this biography audiobook nourishing and insightful. Please send this to someone who may benefit. May we all be well. May we all be wise. May we all receive, embody, and share these gifts from the great masters of the world.